focusing on punk rock bass players during the day. I'm about to launch the website, which is then going to have the YouTube channel and my podcast. I'm about to release everything.
Nice.
So it's been a lot of baby steps, but now I'm there. And then I've just been getting a lot of backing from either like giant, like musical publications or just massive bands that just support what I do, that are just like, you made this cool thing, you got to run with it, you know, or somebody's going to take the idea. So I've just been running with it.
That's amazing. I mean, it's perfect.
You know me, I'm just such a bass nerd anyways.
I know, it's great. It's like you get to nerd out on something that you love, and people are like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and people were stoked, and I really brought this huge community together that was just a bunch of rogue people. Like, I can't believe right now there's 73,000 members in the group. Like, I started as a joke. Like, it was just literally, I got kicked out of another Facebook group for talking about Carl Alvarez as a inspirational bass player to me. Like somebody that inspired me. And because he wasn't like Jocko or, you know, some other amazing virtuoso bass player that these guys like, I got like literally shit on and verbally attacked. And I was like, you're crazy, man. Like, this dude's rad. Check him out. And it was like, F you. And I'm like, you know what? F this group. You guys all suck. Jocko sucks. That guy, you know, just did this. Yeah, I just made fun of him. The whole group went crazy. And then some guy's like, hey, man, if you don't like this group, start your own group. And I was like, fuck it, I will. And I literally thought, I was just like punk rock bass players, like, ugh, and thinking like online there'd be like 1,000 Facebook groups called that, and there was none. And I was like,
that's wild.
I'm like, that's weird. Facebook's been around for what, like 15, 17 years. That group has never been anything. Boom, hit it. 30 of my friends join. We're all making fun of each other in there, just talking about stuff. The next day, Carl Alvarez joins the group, and I'm like, this group started because of you. This is crazy. He started talking to everybody. The next day, 900 people joined. The day after that, 1,100 people joined, and then it started snowballing. Like, 1 week, it was like 25,000 people joined. Like, all these crazy bass players. Like, you know, like, okay, you got Carl. I'm like, oh, that's rad. Then it was Chuck Dukowski from Black Flag, and then Luigi Mayorga from, you know, Suicidal Tendencies, and then Rainey from Discharge, and then next thing you know, you got like the Newfound Glory dude, and the dude from Converge and Municipal Waste, and all this stuff. Like, they're all joining, and I was just like, what's going on here? I was just like telling my dad, and he's just like, yo, dude, you need to like run with this, because there's a reason why this is snowballing. I'm like, yeah, there's nothing like this online. There never has been for musicians, especially anybody that doesn't care about trying to be Jocko or Eddie Van Halen or any of that Guitar Hero shit or Bass Hero stuff. Just, hey, man, I'm just a player, man. I just want to play some rad subs and songs and sound rad on stage.
Right.
How do I do this? You know, here's now this whole group where people are just helping everybody out. You know, like, one of the things I was tripping out on was this young kid. He's like, you know, like 18, 19. He's like, hey, I got my first bass like 3 months ago. Now I got an amp. How do I set the amp up? And literally, who comes in? Carl Alvarez. You got Randy from Pennywise, Nick Alveri from the Dwarves and Queens of the Stone Age, and then Casey from Guar. And they're all like, hey, kid, this is all you have to do. It's really simple. Blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, and like everybody in the group, including myself, are just like jaw dropping, like this is insane. Like, wow. It just became its own thing, man. It's like, as an admin, I could see how far some of the posts go. And there's been posts that have been seen by over 800,000 people. Like, jeez. Just a post that goes viral. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, oh, you got 40,000 likes, like on a little thing, like some dude just post. Insane. Just goes viral.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I'm really stoked to be front row on it the whole time. But there's a bunch of friends of mine that have been there since day one too, and they're just like, what's going on? Or like, I went to Belgium this summer on tour. All these dudes at Brack Rock wearing the same shirt. I was like, what? This is crazy. Go to go on tour with Death by Stereo. Boom. Every night, 5 to 10 people every night. I just came here because I wanted to meet you. And I'm like, what? Like, this is weird. But, you know, it people really enjoy the group, and it brings a lot of people together. And I'm really stoked on the community, and it's a lot of respect for everybody. Everybody's usually pretty cool in there. And every once in a while something happens, but usually everybody in there is awesome. Everybody's supporting each other. Like, people like add each other's bands or like, hey, this guy's dropping a new single. Everybody go check it out, just to be cool,
I
And
mean,
there you
think of
go.
the power of that.
Yeah, it's a
Like, you
power of punk
have
rock. That's why I tell everybody. It's like I just took a niche, which was bass playing. No one cares
Right.
about bass players. They all make fun of us. But it's just punk rock bass players, and then it became power because it was like it collected everybody. And people
Right.
were really stoked to be a part of something.
Right. Well, I'm even thinking the power of, like you were saying, someone drops a new song, and if I release a song, the only listens are for me because I go and check it out once it gets
Yeah.
on Spotify or something. You have a community of
That's all trying to support each other.
that supports each other. I mean, you can make songs go viral that way too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give everybody a platform. Like I just try and do something cool. Like I try and do like once a week, or at least remember to try and do it once a week. Like, hey guys, who has new music out? Leave comments, go support each other. And people do. Like you see the numbers go up dramatically in some of these posts for people. I was like, that's cool,
awesome.
man. Turn on people to new music. That's not just the same 20 bands that you hear on K-Rock, or like for punk, it's like always the same, 15 bands that are playing every festival. Kind of gets old, So, a lot of people are being turned on to like either smaller bands or just DIY independent bands, just like guys in their garage just trying to push their music to everybody,
Yeah.
And it's a place where actually people will listen, which is cool.
It's amazing. Well, before we get too far, welcome to A Life of Creation.
Hey.
I'm your host, Chad, and this is Eric.
Hello.
And he started Punk Rock Bass Players Group, or podcast.
It's a little bit of everything.
Multi-platform thing at this point.
Yes.
Or will be soon. But I met him as the bass player of Sedera.
Mm-hmm.
Probably,
20
years ago? Maybe?
Yeah.
And he's a cool guy. And he's one of those people I feel like knows everyone. So we always seem to be running across each other's paths. We were already talking about punk rock bass players. But what I was going to say, too, about the community aspect of that, something cool, too, is like I think something that punk rock has always been good at doing is finding, the smaller bands.
Yes.
And lifting them up. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of genres where the big headlining band will invite a small band to open. And I think punk rock has always done that more than anyone. And it's because they go check out the songs. They see the kids who show up to their shows. And they just want to support them. So I think your platform is like the new, like, dropping the demo off at the record store like we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, beg a band to take your demo at the show. Like,
Yeah,
dude, hey.
It's basically the online version of that. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just stoked, man, that people like care and like want to help other people or just want to listen to bands, because the hardest thing to do is to get somebody to pay attention to you when you're just doing it yourself,
Right.
It's very frustrating. As we both know of, being underdogs and just trying to come on up and like get on the shows and get bands that you love to pay attention to you. It's hard.
Yeah.
It takes years to, get taken seriously sometimes.
Yeah. You've put in a lot of time in the music scene.
Yeah, I've been doing it since I was a kid. I just love it. It's always been there. I've always had that addiction to it. So, even when I was a little kid, hearing like Bruce Springsteen or like the Commodores, my parents or Beatles, would play music. It hit me. Then one day, my aunt was like babysitting me and my brother, and she started playing Bauhaus and Jane's Addiction and Black Flag and all this stuff I've never heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? This is awesome. And that was kind of like, I felt like, I never did drugs, but that was like my drug. Like, music, what's this? And always trying to find the next cool band. And then got into heavy metal. I remember as a kid, I heard Guns N' Roses. Like, oh, this is rad. I showed my aunt and her boyfriend that were like 11 years older than me, some of my older cousins, and they're like, this shit sucks. Check this out. And they gave me Suicidal Tendencies. And I was like, boom. And it just kind of like, by the time I was in junior high, I was a music junkie. And I wanted to play music. I loved all that Metallica stuff and, like all that shredding guitar, but I knew I couldn't do it. I remember hearing Nirvana going, that sounds easy. I want to learn how to play that. And then it kind of went into that and the Guttermouth and the Pennywise. And then like Agnostic Front and, like bad, like trying to learn all this stuff,
Right.
hardcore stuff and Minor Threat, and just being stoked on like playing fast and all this cool stuff. And then, started a band with my brother and taught him how to play guitar. Taught my friends, hey, you're going to play drums. We all got together, learned how to play music together, and just started playing backyard parties as kids, showing up, singers singing out of a PA or a bass amp or some guitar amp, like, and just being a stupid party band, and just like, whoa, this is crazy. Next thing you know, like, you guys want to play Showcase? And we're like, what? Like, we didn't even know what we were doing. Like, we showed up and we sucked. And it was the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. Like, to be on the stage that I saw all my favorite bands play on as a kid. And this kind of slowly always snowballed. And then I started meeting my favorite bands. And then you start going to shows all the time and befriending people and go play some rad shows. And you go on tour. And then you're an old 46-year-old dude like me doing Facebook groups and shit, selling T-shirts. Where's the time go?
Right. Hey, you've been doing something fun for a long time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I thought I would when we were gonna have my daughter. I was 29. I remember thinking I'm never gonna play music again. It's done. And I had my kid. Everything's all great. I played more shows as a father than I ever did as this some dipshit single dude, or just guy without a kid. Like I later on, like I've just been very fortunate to like get in the bands or bands ask me to fill in. I got to play with a lot of my favorite bands. I've just been very lucky, but it's also, I put in a lot of time to learn my craft.
Right.
So
yeah, having seen you play a few times, you're not just, playing the basic chord progression like I would do when I played bass or guitar. You're like actually you're a skilled bass player.
Sometimes. Yeah, like sometimes I like just holding down the fort. Like Joe Lally, I love him. He's one of my favorite bass players of all time. And sometimes I'd like to really open up.
Yeah.
Do stuff. I try and think like as a piano, like the right hand or left hand, like where do I want to do? Do I hold it down or do I want to get fancy or I kind of do a little bit of both, And also I don't know how to play piano, so I just think of it as that way. I like a lot of my favorite bass players are always like piano, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and then it kind of takes you a different direction.
Right, and not to mention the whole time you are absolutely insane stage presence.
Yeah, that's why I was a little skinnier. I'm a little slower on stage now, but
like people had to watch out.
Yeah, with Sedera back in the day, I mean, we were all like on 10. It was like we were just like, oh my god, like we weren't like a hardcore band. We were like more like I don't know, Jimmy Eat World meets Bad Religion, somewhere like in between.
Right.
But like we had to like Dillinger Escape Plan on stage, and we were just all in it like and we were like either the psycho band when we played with like all the emo bands, and when we played the hardcore shows or punk shows, we were like the gay emo guys that were crazy. Like no one knew. Like, it was like we're like, hey man, we're just here to fuck shit up. That's all I wanted to do is play as hard as I want. I always kind of came that way.
Yeah.
I was a jock, so I kind of, I played football, so taught us how to play football and soccer. So
there's nothing wrong with sports.
Yeah, that's how me and but you see how like also you know my brother and how he played. And it was just like we're always like like the whole time. That came from sports, dude. It's weird shit.
Adrenaline all the time.
Always on 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I would say that is an accurate description of you.
Yeah, try and have a good time,
Yeah, and that's probably why you know everyone and people want you to play in their band because you're going to bring the show and quality to it as well.
Yeah, dude, like with me, it's also like, like I like to play, I really take it seriously. And then also like, I just like hanging out, man. Just, like we're doing right now. Yeah. Like, I just like to have fun. Sometimes been on tour with guys that either want to have way too much fun, and I'm just like, yo, dude, you're gonna hurt yourself, or it's just like boring guys are just like they're just vanilla sandwich eating mayonnaise bastards, But I'm always down to have a good time, Always good to have a conversation.
Yeah,
I'm fun. People like me.
I mean, I always got that vibe from you. Is you want to get to know people.
Yeah, I care about people. Yeah,
and you actually want to like connect. It's never been just this like, hey, cool, see ya. It's been intentional.
Thanks for thinking that way. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I fooled you. No,
Yeah, right.
I was kidding.
Because, I mean, just think of the 20 years. It was like every time you would see me, you'd find me in a crowd and be like, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah. No, always.
It's great.
Yeah, and you were always like, dude, you were there. You're all, like, I'm like, oh, hey, dude, are you playing tonight? Or like, are you here taking photos? Like I always wanted to know what you're doing because I was always like, you always heard cool bands. And you took amazing photo. Like you're a great photographer,
Yeah.
So like, I suck at photography. I love it. Can't do it. You crush it. Like I'm always into this. I'm like, damn, those are great photos.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, dude. You've always been crushing it, man. Since I've known you, you've always just been. I see him like, on MySpace back in the day. I'm like, guys, we got to do photos with Chad. His photos are fucking good, versus a couple people were like, no, let's go with this guy because he'll do it for free. And I'm like, free sucks. Pay this dude because it's worth the money he's asking for.
I'm like, did I get paid? I don't even remember.
I think Stolo paid you for that one photo.
Oh, yeah, probably Stolo, yeah.
I always mean to hit you up going, dude, do you have any of those old photos? Because all that stuff, like, I can't even get a hold of anymore. Most of it was like went down with MySpace.
Right. Yeah, I should have it all.
You probably have it all archived, but
as long, let's cross my fingers.
Maybe it was a few years ago.
Well, I have hard drives. It's dependent.
Find a hard drive with it on.
They turn on. They sit in storage for so long.
No, I hear you.
But I tried recently, a few years ago. I took all my old hard drives and put them on new hard drives. Because you can get a much bigger hard drive now.
Well, yeah, it's crazy, dude. You get like
5 of them fit on one.
Yeah, I remember like when a terabyte was the size of like a car. Now it's like
right, yeah,
it's like that big. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that's crazy. That's a thumb drive's 3 terabytes. Crazy.
Well, so for perspective on that too, my first compact flash for my first digital camera was 1 gig, and it was a micro drive. So it was a mini hard drive, and it cost $350. I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, it's worth money. Yeah, it's like you paid that much, might as well keep it.
Right. I'm like, so it was like one of those things. If you dropped it, it could potentially break and be done.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember back in the day just all those things and just being like, going to Best Buy and be like, I can't believe I paid this much money. But now it's like, dude, that shit's like nothing.
It's like $10.
Yeah, like pennies, But technology is crazy.
Let's talk a little bit about, I mean, you're kind of already talking about how you live a life of creation, because you've been in music forever. What other aspects of that do you or what other aspects of living a life of creation do you do? Obviously,
I'm always coming up with ideas. Like I'm always I have friends that call me up. Like my buddy Murphy right now, he's the the ex-bass player of Sugar Ray, and this guy's awesome, man. He's doing this whole bass thing, and he just come, hey man, what do you think about this, or what do you think we should call this? And I just shoot ideas with him all day long. I love shooting ideas. I come up with ideas. I have journals everywhere of just stuff. Like I'm always trying to create ideas that like could benefit, like everything like with punk rock bass players literally came off like little notepads I had, just sticky notes that I had in my old Fullerton apartment. And I just started writing down, and I just started actually making things happen versus thinking things up. Right. Like I just had to like really be motivated and realize like, dude, what I'm doing is actually cool. It's not stupid. It's not just in my head. Everybody thinks it's cool or enjoys what I'm doing. So I just start moving with things. Right. Because, a lot of times you come up with ideas. It's a boom, 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 boom. And then you don't do anything with it. Or maybe you do 1 out of 10. And then I was just like, well, fuck it. If they're all good ideas and I throw it to a couple people, I'm just going to run with it. Or just, I got to do it. So that's now what I've been doing. Like, punk rock bass players has pretty much been like everything I've been doing for the last year and a half. About a year and a half. Just focusing on that, talking to people, group tank, stuff like that. And people are like, everybody's telling me what I have is legit. So all I want to do is just focus on that. And that's why, like, right now, I'm getting ready to release the website, which has been, like, once you see it, you're going to be like, oh, shit, this is really cool. Just the concept of how it looks, the artwork, like, just how the direction that me and my web designer went. we talked about for a long time, and then just made it happen. Then I got the YouTube channel, which is awesome. I got about 30 plus interviews I've done now archived. I'm probably released about 3 or 4 a week. And then I've just been archiving all my little podcasts. And now I'm ready to just throw it down and just get it all out. And whoever enjoys it, enjoys it. You know, I'm trying to keep like the podcast usually about 30 to 45 minutes in length, just because I grew up on like Saturday morning cartoons and 30 minutes, my attention span's totally dedicated.
Right.
This Joe Rogan shit where, you know, podcasts like 3 years long, I don't care.
Yeah.
It'll take me a month to listen to somebody talk that much. So it makes me feel like I'm in college taking notes. I'm just like,
yes, I've actually have gone that direction too. I'm like, I need to cut this to like an hour tops.
Yeah, dude. It's like, or we make it 2 parts.
Yeah.
So people have a little intermission, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna go, you know, it's just too much sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's just like, was that really that important to listen to that guy talk about his dog that he had in 3rd grade? Who cares? Yeah. Like, I've listened to so many podcasts where it's either I learned a ton from, or I just listened to a bunch of bullshit stories that I was like, I don't think I'm gonna listen to this podcast anymore, you know?
Right.
I want to give people what they want, you know? So hopefully I do give them what they want, because I don't know. I've never done this. I've never been a journalist or like, oh, tell me about this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. I'm just bullshitting with a guy like I'd be doing backstage at a show. That's how I'm trying to keep it. It's a little weird when you have a camera in your face and lights, and it seems a little false to me, especially like sometimes like you see the person, they come on in like, oh, hey, we're going to do this. And they tell you some information, and then, or you interview and they already tell you all this stuff. And it's kind of like telling you again. I'm just like, fuck, dude, I wish I just did the first take and made it just more genuine. So I'm trying to figure out ways to approach my interviews and my podcasts differently from the ones I've already done. And just, I just study everything like it's like, you know, like when those old football reels come in, you have the coach yelling at everybody, like all their mistakes. I watch all my stuff and I just find the mistakes and go, fix this, fix that. And then the next week I do it again. And I just keep on trying to fine tune what I'm doing.
Right. Are you doing the editing and stuff too?
Greg Corinne is doing the editing. I'm learning how to do it. I have a friend teaching me how to do everything in DaVinci.
Right. That's what I use too.
Yeah, DaVinci seems pretty awesome and pretty it's just like a better version of iMovie.
Right.
But I mean, certain things I don't know how to like put underneath. Like, hi, I'm Mary Bootow, or like, you know, animation stuff like that. I don't know how to split the screens and put layers on and all that shit. Right. But like, I could edit things slightly. You know, I've done a lot of stuff for Fourth in Line on my phone with this iMovie for video edits from like, you know, show highlights and stuff for Instagram. But I really want to learn how to just dial it in, and thought about going back to FJC and taking a couple like classes just to better myself.
Really do it. Yeah.
You know, and it's like I could watch all these little YouTube tutorials and hit up ChatGPT and ask it questions. But when honestly, all I need to do is just keep on like going for it, you know?
Right.
So
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of diving in. I mean, I work with a video team at work. If I have any deep questions,
you have like the insight. I'm just like, how do I? Everything to me is like punk rock. Like, you know, like when you're a kid and you're like, how do I play this instrument? Okay, now I know how to play 3 songs. How do I turn the amp on? Like, you know, or how do I go from my bedroom to jam with somebody? How do I go from jamming to writing? How do I go from writing, recording to playing show? You know, like there's this huge, like all these steps you have to take to be, you know, at a certain point. And now I'm just like learning all over again, which is cool. I love it because I feel like for years I haven't learned anything I give a fuck about. You know, you learn things, but it's always something you don't care about. You're just learning because you have to learn it for your job or whatever. But like to learn something because you want to create something that you're gonna be proud of. It's awesome. I have that fire, you know. If I'm not writing music and feeling that, I get to do it with this. So I still feel very creative, and I feel like I'm not like just some dude bullshitting his way, you know, through all this. I feel like I'm actually trying to make a difference because 1, I care about this audience, and then 2, I just think it's fucking cool. It's like, you know, I like it, you know.
Right. Well,
So
it's cool that you're taking a passion of yours and then learning a new skill to
yeah.
dive further into your passion.
Mhm.
I mean, that's kind of why I started this. I was like, well, I do photos at work. I don't want to do photos at home. I play music at home, which is fun, and I love it. I will do that as much as I can. But it's like, what's another thing that I can learn and do that will help just kind of feed my curiosity in life? It's like I like collecting things, so I can't do that all the time because I can't afford it.
Yeah.
So
Collecting things is awesome until it costs you money. Unless you're finding stupid rocks and they're worth money or something, or you're polishing them. I don't know, but like
I do
collecting
love
anything's
rocks.
expensive. Yeah,
I love rocks. So
rocks are
I
rad, man. I'm a total nerd, dude. I'm obsessed with dinosaurs still, dude. I'm 46. I give a shit about
awesome.
dinosaurs. I have a saber-tooth tiger skull in my bedroom. Like it's a replica, obviously it's not the real thing,
Right.
but I got the whole model. I'm just a nerd, man. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Isn't that, I think I talk about it a lot. It's like a life of creation is just a life of curiosity, right?
Always.
And it's like you just want to learn new things, try new things, and what's cool is like that is can be totally different for everyone. And it's like if it's something that, you're passionate about or you're interested in, try it. Like
Yeah.
there's no harm in trying.
Yeah. It's just
I'm
like
like,
great. Like we were kids. We were creating stuff out of like, Lincoln logs and Legos and stuff. And then you start doing art and like, before I was in the music, I was obsessed with art. Like that's all I did. Like,
yeah.
and my family, buy me all the crayons and all the rad pencils because I was killing it. I was like getting like blue ribbons in first place and stuff at all the art festivals as a kid. And then as soon as I heard music and just jumped on that, I was like, this is a new way I want to express myself.
Yeah.
And then all that stuff, like I still love art. I was also a comic book nerd and just love drawing, especially like Tom McFarlane, all the Marvel stuff and Image Comics and stuff. That stuff inspired me. It was just I liked it, and there's something punk about it always too. Like was just the artwork, Now as an adult, it's like I go back and those comics are worth money. I have them still. I can't believe, I can't believe they've made it all these years. I'm surprised some rat didn't eat them or something, but
right, or just totally disintegrate.
Yeah. I've just always kind of kept them in a dark corner and made sure nothing could get in there, and still have them. But like, I was really inspired when I was a kid by Tom McFarlane and Jim Lee, and they were local guys. Like I went to elementary school with this girl named April McFarlane. Her uncle was Tom McFarlane. Wow. And I was friends with her, and he knew I was in art and gave me some comic books. I had no clue who this dude was. All I knew was like it was my friend's uncle.
Right.
I had no clue he was like the Da Vinci of fucking comic books. It was like, and like, Rob Liefeld, he was a La Habra guy. He created like Deadpool and Cable and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, and he went to Whittier Christian High School, like right there in La Habra. Wild. Like my aunt, her boyfriend at the time was like, I know Rob. I'm like, no, you don't. And he'd be like, I know Guttermouth. I'm like, no, you don't. He's like, I know Fleet of the Chili Peppers. Shut up. Like, because, as a kid, I didn't believe any of that stuff. And then years later, like, oh, yeah, we know Rob, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, like I couldn't believe Guttermouth was from La Habra when I was a kid. I thought it was a lie.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're from La Habra. They went to Sonora, the same high school I went to, but graduated like like in 82 or some shit like that, or 86. Right. I was fucking learning about G.I. Joes and stuff and Transformers. I mean, hey, these guys are a lot older than me, but they're awesome, cool dudes.
Yeah, that was a band that my friend group kind of got into.
Yeah, I think if you're like in the SoCal punk, it was pretty.
Yeah, it was Guttermouth, Backside.
Yeah, got to play in bass for both of those bands.
Right, it's awesome. So you got to sing Mr. Barbecue.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. I probably played like 20 shows filling in with them when they needed me to. And then I got to play the last Backside show on bass. My brother actually, after Fourth and Line broke up, Steve called me and he's like, hey, man, you want to play guitar on Backside? We're going on tour with, we're doing a whole new North American tour with Voodoo Glow Skulls. And I'm like, no. But my brother plays guitar because I didn't want to buy a bunch of gear, Yeah. I was like, dude, I can play. I play guitar before I play bass, and like I was like, man, I mean, I have to buy a guitar, a cab, and a head. Oh, that's like that's a lot of money. My brother
couldn't borrow one.
Yeah, dude. So my brother did it, and well, for a North American tour, no one's gonna let you borrow their stuff for like 6 weeks, you know.
Right.
If it was like 5 days, I don't think anybody would care. But it was just too much stuff. You know, also hey, can I borrow a cabinet, a head,
everything,
and like at least 2 guitars? Yeah, that was a lot of money, you know. And also, I was in college. I had a girlfriend at the time that I just started to date. And I was like, oh man, I was all infatuated with her. So I was like, man, if I go on tour, this chick's gonna ditch me. You know, we just started dating, which she ditched me like 2 months later anyway, so it wouldn't matter. But like, yeah, man, it was funny stuff. But yeah, my brother took the gig and he played in Backside for over 2.5 years. And then from there he joined As Hope Dies, and then, you know, did a bunch of other stuff, and then Death Hymn, and then that was it.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw him. Well, I'm trying to remember when I would have seen Backside. It was definitely like high school. It was some late 90s.
Yeah,
so
they were always so fun to go see. We just would go see them because we loved them.
Right.
Then we met Randy Harris, the guitarist. That was the new guitarist at the time, and he was tattooing our friend. And we're like, "Dog, you were in this band." He's like, "Yeah, come on down." And you know, I still have no tattoos, and went down there and just gave him the CD and talked to him for like 3 days, or like on and off while my buddy's getting his tattoo. Right. And then they started putting us on shows, and then me and Steve, the singer, became really good friends. And then we're like, "Hey guys, like, we have a backyard party going on, like in La Habra. You guys want to come and hang out and party with us?" And they came out, dude. And like, we went to the liquor store. We stole a bunch of beers together. Like it was the best. And then we were just bros. Like after that, we were like you know, like homie bands. Like we were gonna get in a lot of trouble. And then we played a bunch more shows with Backside. And then Steve's like, "Hey man," I just threw the ball to my brother. Right. And I still talk to Steve. Steve's a very good friend of mine. Like,
that's awesome.
Like on the new Fourth and Line record, we actually covered a Backside song because we love those guys that much, and we just want to pay tribute to the dudes who helped us out so much back in the day. Because we broke up for 18 years, man. Like, those dudes gave a shit when we broke up. You guys are fucking idiots. And it was like, hey man, we don't want to play. We all don't hate each other. It was just we all were kind of going different directions. Right. Musically, and me and my brother were just kind of like, you know what, this ship's sailed to the coast. We're gonna go our own way. Those guys are gonna go their own way. And then, you know, those guys never did anything. You know, the other members of the band didn't do anything after Fourth and Line until we got back together, and that was 18 years almost. It was like 17 years and like 8 months until we hit the reunion show. And then, yeah, but ever since then, I'm stoked. I got to write a record. Almost, you know, I was stoked. I never thought I'd write another record again, you know, especially when COVID hit, you know, or being in my old hardcore band that started when I was a kid, you know, and I didn't think anybody was going to give a shit and people cared. Like, we slammed Slide Bar was one of the craziest shows they ever had. We had no clue it was going to be like that. I thought maybe like 50 people would show. Nah, that place was slammed. Like, I mean, the footage is nuts.
Right.
So much wasted alcohol on the floor. I was like, this is crazy.
Dude, Slide Bar shows were gnarly.
Yeah, dude. Were you there when Dillinger Escape Plan played there?
Yeah.
That was
nuts.
That's like one of those special shows that you got to see, and it's like, yeah, I witnessed that.
Yeah. Josh hired me to shoot it, and I had never seen Dillinger play before. I heard they were crazy, and
yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you actually showed up." I was like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "They go after the photographers." I was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "You may break your camera." I was like, "Well, are you going to pay for it?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, well, it'll be fun."
We'll see how this goes.
It was great. It was so much fun.
That show was just in carnage. Like, that show was so much fun. And what's really interesting about that show is the singer, Greg, his girlfriend at the time was Jenna Hayes, the porn star. She went to high school with us, dude. So when I saw her, I was like, hey. And it was just like, oh my God. Because I would be in the hallway playing guitar after guitar class, and she would get out of dance class. So I'd always talk to her, and she'd be like, play me a Guttermouth song or Jimi Hendrix or whatever the fuck. And she dated my buddy on and off for a little while in high school. Her name was like, I think Jessica or something. I forget her name because it's been so long. But yeah, I just saw her there and it was kind of cool to talk to her. And I was like, oh, crazy. You're dating the singer of Dillinger Escape Plan.
And that's pretty wild.
I'm like, you're probably the second most successful person that came out of our high school. And she's rich. But James Cameron also went to Sonora too. So he made a couple bucks with some movies, you know.
Yeah, he did all right.
He had some Titanic money. And Avatar.
Right. Yeah.
Terminator. Yeah.
I think I just saw the trailer that Billie Eilish dropped that he directed concert video for her or something.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Cameron, he's awesome. He's kind of like you know, like his backstory, how he just bullshitted his way on making movies. Dude, so he was like a truck driver or delivery driver, and he was always delivering to like USC or UCLA. He would go to their film department, and they had like a library, and he would just photocopy all their stuff, and that's how he learned how to do all the movie stuff. Like he said it in the interviews. I just going like, that's crazy. No one even checked in on this guy, but
that's wild.
Yeah, it's super wild. But you know, hey, it's another creative guy. You know, just trying to get
it worked for him.
The door.
It worked.
Yeah. You never know. Do whatever you can to get your product out. You know, that guy sold himself, and yeah, obviously made an amazing living and story for himself, you know?
Right, yeah, definitely. Well, this video may actually come out in the spring. So the Billie Eilish video probably has already been released at this point, but we're recording it now in December.
Yeah, was this like December 11th, like that, right? Yeah.
Well, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's like your creative process? I know you were saying you like the journal.
I like the journal because sometimes it's like those ideas, they hit you and then they're gone. Or like if I'm like doing something, like I'll send myself a voice memo, I'll text myself, like, or if I like even like things that like I find inspirational, I'll text it to myself, or I'll email a bunch of links to myself just to have it spark ideas and stuff like that. But like, you know, I get inspiration from all types of different things. I mean, being a dad sometimes sparks stuff, and like I never would have thought like that would do it. But there's been times where I just hang out with my daughter. She also plays bass, and we're doing stuff together. And I've written stuff like while I was talking to my kid, just kind of goofing around. Or it's just like she'll say something, I'm like, that's kind of a cool idea. Like I never thought of that. It's like, oh, you know, we just go for it. I don't know, man. It's just like inspiration comes in so many different forms and waves, and just if that energy's there, you just gotta go with it, you know?
Right.
I feel for a long time I was always scared to go with it because I was always used to doing things in a group setting, you know, me and a band. And then at some point I'm just like, you know what, dude, I can do a lot of damage just by myself instead of waiting for like, hey, this guy hasn't called me back, or this dude, I don't know. Like with punk rock bass players, it's all on me. Like, so I have to just keep on running regardless of how many things I have going. That's all I want to do is run. And I feel like even though every day I might make little baby steps, now looking back on like a year and a half later, I've came a fucking long way. It's pretty stunning. Like I wish I documented this better, like my journey, but dude, it's coming into fruition, or whatever that word is. I just totally butchered saying. But I'm not drunk, I swear to God. But like I just keep on trying to go with it, and it's like so much easier for me doing this by myself, not having to answer to people, not having to, you know, like, I mean, I talk to people about there's certain things before I jump, but you know, I always want to make sure before I jump I have that, you know, parachute. But like I feel like just doing my own thing, I have a lot more. There's no one saying no to me. Right. Like in a band, there's always someone, oh, I don't know if we should do that. I don't know, man. That's not the. You know, I'm like, fuck it, dude. Boom, boom, boom. And then I just look back, I'm like, I just killed it, and I know I made the right decisions.
Right.
So, and then like I've been done a lot of things where I thought might look stupid, and people were like, dude, this is fucking awesome. And I'm like, wow, never would have thought that. But thank all you people for like backing me up on stuff, you know? It's really cool. You know, and sometimes I throw ideas out to the group, and they actually are like, yo, Eric, do this. This is, you're dumb. Do it, you know? And I just go for it.
Well, this might lead us into the next section.
Go for it, yeah.
community. I mean, that is such an important part of, living a life of creation, because,
Yes.
there's the aspect of you are doing it on your own, is your idea. And I think that's important, to own your thing and run with it. But you also have a community that
Yes.
is, uplifting you, supporting you, even if they're not directly telling you what to do. They're still an active participant in what
Yeah,
you're
and
doing.
it's inspiration too.
Yeah.
Trying to do things because I feel like once it's done, it's be awesome for them. But one of the other things too, like when you talk about community, just being around other creative people or inspiring people really makes a big difference. Because like when I started this idea and trying to run with it first, I was just around a bunch of fucking people that were like, I don't even understand what you're talking about. That's stupid. That's kind of dumb. I mean, that's cool. People like your stupid idea. And I'm just like,
Right.
what I'm doing isn't stupid. It resonates
Right.
with people.
Right.
So I cut those people out. I was like, fuck them. I don't need people like that. I need people to tell me, hey, man, if I want to do something dumb, please tell me if I'm doing something dumb or financially stupid, which I've done a lot of like stupid things. But like with this, it's kind of a lot of common sense and being around the right people. Like I said, like, I'm trying to get my words out. I have so many things going in my mind. But being around so many people that are creative and uplifting and positive, but also like could tell you like, hey, that might not be the best for what you're wanting to do. Like one of my good friends is Bob Becker from Fearless Records. He lives right down the street from me. Like he now does Thriller Records, and he like the conversations I've had with him, his knowledge of just the game of starting a label from nothing and creating one of the largest independent label. Like it's bigger than Epitaph and everybody. Fearless is the biggest now. It's crazy. That's my buddy Bob. I used to go see all his bands at the showcase. Now he's just killing it, man. And I've asked him a lot, and he's been very inspiring to me. And he's giving me nothing but great advice. And I take what he tells me because I know it's legit sound advice. And I've just been running with it. And then, my dad's been a massive inspiration to me as well with this. Cause, like when I was a kid, my dad didn't understand anything I was doing. My dad was an LAPD cop. He was an ex fucking 49er. Like he has this punk rock son. It's like, I'm not playing fucking football. Fuck you. And I'm going to go fucking go to a party and get fucked up and try and meet chicks and like fuck college. And I'm just going to do whatever I want. I want to play bands and I want to jump around on stage and, drink beers when I'm like 18, like, or whatever, like my dad's like, oh, now as, me as a 46-year-old adult and got a lot of shit on my system. It's like, my dad's like been like, oh, hey man, like you need to do this. And what you have, like he sees what's going on, like on the online, like he's like, this is crazy. These people actually like are cheering for you. Like he's like, you got like 73,000 people wanting you to do this, so fucking do it and make all those dudes people proud. I mean, I don't know these people, but they give a fuck about me and what I'm doing, and so I want to give a fuck back to them. I want to try to give it back to them, and hopefully what I do at the end, like the end result of what I'm trying to create, I hope they're stoked on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are always going to be a couple of naysayers, but when it comes down to it, it's like, I know a lot of people are just rooting for me, and that's why I just try every day just to get a little bit further.
Right.
And I'm right there at the end. Like the end game's about to I'm about to drop everything, so I'm stoked. I just want to get this thing out and stoke out everybody and all these crazy musicians that were my heroes as a kid reaching out to me and calling me up and sending me text messages. It's absolutely insane. Like, or they're out here on tour. Eric, we got you plus this. Come on out early. We're going to go dinner. And I'm like, what? Like, I've idolized you since I was 11. Like, it's just been nothing but cool, man. I have nothing negative to say about my experiences so far with punk rock bass players. I can only say it's just been awesome, and it's just getting more intense and more cooler every day.
So, like I said, this might come out in the spring. Will your website be dropped by then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to try and get it out in the next 3 to 6 weeks.
Okay. So like in the first of the year kind of thing.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is kind of your aspirations for that platform?
You know what? That's a good question. I don't know. Like, I just want to see things succeed. I guess I don't know. Like I'm just like that's. I've never really thought of it from that perspective. All I think of is like I'm at A and I'm trying to get the Z, and I'm just kind of like going piece by piece. And I'm pretty much at Y right now, so I see Z like right down the street. So once it goes, I just hope it continues. It's like gets better. Like my aspirations are, I just want to give people, I guess, with Facebook group, YouTube channel, podcast, and website. I just want to give people a platform where they like have something that they've never been able to have. Like me as a bassist and just a musician, I've never had like a website or anything that was really answering my questions or like was like interesting to me. Like Guitar World, it's fucking rad. I don't give a fuck about Slash. Right. I love Guns N' Roses. I love Eddie Van Halen. When he died, it really hurt me. But like, and I was sad because I love Van Halen. But dude, I don't want to read about how to play his shit. I never cared about leads, you know. And when it came to bass, man, I was like always like, dude, oh yeah, Victor Wooten, amazing. Steve Bailey, James Jameson, all these, you know, Jocko, all these amazing virtuoso bass players. Unbelievable. Blow my mind. None of that shit ever inspired me to want to play bass. I like Geezer Butler. I like Paul McCartney. And then I just started getting the punk rock. And I'm like, oh my God, these tones are so cool. And how they get that tone. Where's this going? Oh, Peter Hook. You know, this dude's doing all these cool harmonies. He's more like, you know, like Jane's Addiction. Like all this stuff kind of like led me to where I'm at. And I feel like a lot of those artists that I gave a fuck about were always ignored. It's like, okay, dude, I love Primus. Everybody knows Les Claypool's the shit. Flea right. And a couple of these, but that's all they talk about.
Right.
Like, I've read all those interviews since I was 12. I'm 46. Like, I don't give a fuck about that anymore. Like, I want to hear about Little Joe from RKL and like his tour experiences, or like, you know, just some no-name bass player that rips, dude. That like, I want to hear about these guys. I want to know about new players. Like, I want to talk about Carl Alvarez and, you know, like Rainey from Discharge, or, you know, like Chris Novoselic. I feel like that guy, even being one of the biggest bands in the world, was slightly overlooked as a bass player by so many magazines because he always had that bomb-ass tone, and I thought he was rad, you know? He's just this goofy dude smashing shit every night, you know? Like, I want to hear about, like, all these dudes, or, like, hey, man, like, how this, you know, bass player No Means No, how did he get that tone that was so huge, you know?
Right.
Like, I want to hear about stuff like that. I don't care about, like, talking about Victor Wooten's slap technique anymore. He's talked about for 5,000 years. Like, the stuff I care about, I just want to try and give everybody this platform, you know, like, I want to get bassists that, like, I love to be like, hey, man, why don't you write some articles on my site? Why don't you put your words out there, inspire people, besides just your music, you know? Right. I want to try and use my platform for just to give other people platforms I feel like should have been discovered a long time ago, like Jason Black from Hot Wire Music. That dude is fucking unbelievable. I think he's one of the best bass players ever. And like, I talk about him, it's like either you know about him or you're just like, I've never heard of this band. What's this? And like, listen to it, and I give, you know, a CD to somebody, and they're like, oh my God, new favorite bass player. Or like Brian from Wilhelm Scream, where he's just jumping around, finger tapping, and doing all these really cool bass lines. I'm like, dude, these people should be household names, but they're not, because a lot of people were never introduced to these bands. And I want to try and introduce these people or this audience to more than just the same dudes, you know? Like, it's cool, dude. Didi Ramone's the shit. Matt Freeman's the shit. All those dudes are household names. Check these other guys out. Like, you know, let's get more inspiration going, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I've never been very good at knowing that the actual person's name, but like, I think of like bass lines from Adolescence. And,
Soto, dude.
Yeah. Soto. And it's just like hearing that, you're like, that's a bass. Like,
yeah, dude, Steve had
this is amazing.
Vicious Attack. You know, like the few times I ever got to hang out with Steve, like, he was cool. He made fun of me a couple times for joining Jugheads, because back in the day, Jugheads and Adolescents had some type of miscommunication. But he was always a cool guy, man, and he was always cool. And I just, you know, you watch those old videos, just hear those songs, and his approach changed so much shit just from some dude from Fullerton, just playing a bass. You never expected that record to be anything more than his buddies listening to it. It's sold hundreds of thousands of copies throughout the world. You know,
Has to.
yeah. Steve Soto inspired a lot of people, and
Yeah.
I'm glad people still want to remember Steve Soto because he was very important, especially not just as a musician from Orange County, but just as a bass player that just loves punk rock. Like he was one of the greatest. You know.
Yeah, but it was like I don't think of any rock band that I listened to as a young person and said I wanted to play bass like them. Like I got into punk, I got a bass because I figured it was a little easier to learn.
Yeah.
And you start hearing the bass, and you're like, "That's fun."
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's very important. It's what carries everything and complements everything. You know, like band without bass, it sounds like music coming out of a telephone. You know, it sounds like shit. You know, you need bass to make it whole. It's like a cake without frosting. You know, bass is the frosting, and it's delicious. I sound like such a dipshit right now saying that, but I made it up right now.
It's all good. But yeah, like I've, started composing some music on my own and, kind of having played bass, you can kind of work with that in your compositions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also fun to see like, all right, if the bass player hits this note, violin or piano can hit these notes and you create the chord, And so I think me learning that stuff, now I'm kind of like, now how can I actually apply that into like actual playing instead of just like composing on the computer?
That's cool, man. Where do you like when you're trying to like do some type of composition? Like, where do you start from? Like, where's your bass? Like, do you start with a guitar? Do you do piano? Like, do you have a harmony in your head that you try and work on one instrument?
So typically, I'd start with guitar, kind of have a chord progression, and then I use a program called Muse Score.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah,
it's a free music composition. It's incredible, has lots of power, and I then usually start piano. So I'll write out usually in the bass the chord progression, and then sometimes I'll write out just the chords too in the right hand, the treble or whatever, and then based on those notes, I can go, oh, these are the notes. I can kind of move around and start figuring out melodies from there. And then you just start adding layers and you're like, hey, I'm going to do some violins.
Best, man.
Yeah. It's just so fun.
Making lasagna,
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, I love being in the studio. And some people think I'm nuts because I'm like, I like layers. I've always thought that the deeper you could stack it properly, the more, you just get more out of it. Just feels like it's more, not just thought out, but just feels better. Right. I mean, sometimes there's beauty of just a very naked guitar and a little bit bass and stuff, but then if you dial everything in on top of it the right way, it's beautiful, regardless if it's like some crazy death metals thing or if it's just, 5-string, people,
Right. Yeah, I remember talking to some metal band and they were talking about they were in the studio and they're like, yeah, we have like 99 guitar tracks because they just, had layered a few and then harmonized and then just like, I have 2. And I thought that was too many.
I did 4 and I wanted to kill myself. Right. 99, that's insane.
But, yeah, it was like different takes.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
I guess if you had the budget,
I think they were doing it themselves. Like one of them was like
so crazy, man. Like,
yeah.
How many different guitars? Like, so like how many amps did you use? What type of strings? Like that's crazy to me to do that much. I mean, I like adding stuff. I mean, I love like when Metallica used to do all that stuff and certain like Propaganda, whatever you want to pronounce their name. They always do just the right amount of layering, like just the subtleties and stuff.
Right.
That like I just fall in love with anytime I hear one of the recordings because it's just like so perfect. Even like just the bending of the free feedback and with acoustic over like some thick ass guitar, you're just like, that's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's just as good as Metallica or Iron Maiden, like all these bands that, they're huge, but there's some band from Winnipeg that's, fucking pretty popular band, but I always felt like they should have been just massive compared to where they are,
Right.
I mean,
I just think of that the whole like punk scene, really. Just like there's so many good bands, but most of them what lasted a year, maybe 5 tops.
A lot of self-destruction. Touring like punk, like dude on a low budget, man, it's fucked up. Especially like during the summer. Sometimes touring without a fucking AC, or you're touring not even in a van. You're in I toured in a Bronco, dude, with 5 guys and a driver. It sucked with gear. It sucked. No AC. I mean, punk rock is about making things happen. So I get it, but when I see some of these guys crying about oh, I'm doing a tour, and I'm like, you have a fucking bus. I've never even toured in a bus. I've been doing this forever. That's rad. I've never even toured in an RV. I've been in a shitty van the whole time, and I love it. And you hear these, some guys just crying about it. I'm like, man, don't play music, dude. Or just write music in the studios. Be like the Beatles. Don't go on tour.
And just play a festival.
Yeah, go play a festival. Have fun, go home. If you can't enjoy the comforts of being on tour, then don't go on tour, because you're never going to be comfortable. I get, we all grew up, me and you grew up on the same shit, dude. So I get it. It's so crazy. As adults now, me in a regular shirt being in dad clothes, and no one expect us to be these fucking crazy, kids back in the day, that were obsessed with all these bands and were punkers and hardcore kids, And it's I meet these dads, they're talking about bands and shit. And I'm just like, bro, dude, you grew up on some whack shit, bro. And I'm like, I was part of a community. I was a part of a scene. I was a part of this, Chain Reaction, for example, or Showcase, or The Barn.
Right.
Southern California hardcore scene, punk scene. We were all part of that, That's a bond that we have, when we meet people like that, you have that together. And I meet these dads that talk oh, dude, Limp Bizkit and Korn and Five Finger Death Punch. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And they're oh, punk rock fucking sucks, dude. And fucking Korn, dude, that's where it's at, dude. Ugh. It's whatever, man.
Have fun.
You ever go to a Korn show? Nope. I don't know. I hate that shit. I mean, I don't hate Korn or that stuff. I just hate people like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I feel a little bit of a snob because of punk rock and hardcore as well. But
which is funny because, most people would hear our music and think you guys just like anything because this is just noise. And
this is garbage.
Right, it's terrible. It's horribly recorded.
Some lyrics and go, read this. Well, that's pretty profound shit. That's pretty cool. What is this? That band I was just listening to, you said sound like a garbage disposal. Fucking R2D2. That's what they're saying in this shit. And I'm going, it's not some fucking, modern country shit where it's just a bunch of spewed out patriotic bullshit that they don't even mean, or they even back. It's rock and hardcore, man. It's always been real, and I always back it, because I know it's not bullshit,
Right. Yeah, my parents always would hear the music I was listening to, and these guys are a worship band, but just noise.
Yeah.
Had them read the lyrics, and they're like, okay. I don't hear any of that.
You were really into?
Well, Focused was one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Focused was the shit. Yeah. Great band.
Unashamed was the first hardcore album I ever got.
Oh, really? That's cool. How old were you?
I think I got that when I was maybe 13, 14 maybe. It was supposed to be, my brother had asked for it, who's 2 years older than me, for Christmas. And my grandma bought it and gave it to me.
Oh, your grandma bought it? That's cool.
And
grandma was a hardcore album. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I don't think she had any idea. But,
no clue. Yeah.
My brother's like, oh, that's what I want. And I was like, I don't have no idea what this band is. And I was like, no, it's mine. She gave it to me.
This is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
And I hated it at first. But then I'm like, I'm not giving it to my brother. Screw him. And so I would just keep listening to it, turn it up, because I knew it would piss him off. And I fell in love with it. And then I bought, I think, Overcome's first album off of one of my brother's friends. It's Rest is History.
Yeah,
I remember seeing The Crucified at one of their reunion shows.
And you saw them? That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it was Crucified, Focused, and then EDL, Everyday Life.
Everyday Life was the shit, man. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was the first time I went in a mosh pit. My brother threw me in.
Where'd you see him at?
To be honest, I don't even remember. I think it was like a church, to be honest.
It had to have been.
But it was a big church. There was a lot of people.
Yeah, dude. Those church shows were nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I remember going like, wait, we're going to a church to see a band? I'm like, what? You know, I was like, oh yeah, they get down. Like, this isn't like, you know, like some worship music. I was like, imagine like, you know, the Blues Brothers, like do all like waving hands and stuff and jumping around. And I was like, wait, they're playing hardcore in here. This is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I interviewed Adam Lentz. I'm sure you know him.
His dad was my parents' fucking high school teacher, dude. Yeah. I've known Adam since we were kids.
Yeah. But we were talking and he's like, dude, I went to those church shows with you. Those were like the most violent shows I went to. They were nuts.
I think this went to every show that's ever happened.
I think so too.
Dude, I ran into him at Program Skate about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. And he's like, hey man, we were just talking. He was tripping that Fourth and Line was playing again. And because him and his buddy Sean put us on our first show, like at Public Storage, like before Chain Reaction. And a couple years later, we played a show. That was with Death by Stereo. And a couple years later, we played for the city of Fullerton. Our friend Adam's brother was like the head of like the youth center or whatever, and was doing a dance for all the high schools in the Fullerton Joint School District. It was like La Habra, Sonora, Buena Park, Sunny Hills, Troy, and Fullerton or whatever. And we were playing all the backyard parties, and we knew everybody from every school because they were all coming out to our shows.
Right.
Dude, and it rioted. It literally rioted. Like, as soon as we started playing, city council like, what's going on? Like, because it was a dance, dude. There was a DJ in one room, and then we're having bands playing the other. We went on. Every hardcore kid in Orange County showed up. Everybody that was like a punker that was at all the schools showed up, and they just let loose in the gymnasium. It's at Independence Park in Fullerton.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we're playing. Security's pushing people. You know, Chris is out there putting a mic out. Next thing you know, dude, somebody pushes one of our buddies, and our buddy Manny just boom socks the security guard. Next thing you know, everybody's getting pepper sprayed. We jump off in the crowd. We're fighting people. Like, we're fighting security with our friends. Like, my friend's, his girlfriend at the time, she got punched in the mouth by a security guard, knocked out her front teeth. Like, this crazy shit. Everybody's getting pepper sprayed. I see one of my best friends, my buddy Dave. He's in a headlock, and this dude's like, you know, fuck, has him. And I thought it was a security guard, man. And I ran up. I was like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. I'm going to kick him in the face like a soccer ball. And like, I was wound up. The guy turned over. Fullerton PD badge. I was about to kick this guy's head off, dude. He was a cop. So I was like, I was like, later, Dave. And we started fighting other security guards, dude. It was crazy. But Adam witnessed a security guard pull out a knife, and it got like knocked out. It was on the ground. And he's like, dude, it was the craziest thing. It was like this big. You know, like, dude, Adam was there, dude. It was like we had to call our parents, dude. Like, Dad, this party or this dance we played rioted. We need you to come down here. And my dad just got off work at LAPD. And dude, we're all detained. Like, all of us are detained. We're playing music. Well, and also jumping in the crowd and beating the shit out of a bunch of security guards. But yeah, dude, it fucking sucked. And you know, but Adam was there just laughing. He tells his dad what happened. And those Bootows, you know, like Erica Troy. Like, causing riots in the fucking city. Yeah, we got banned from playing in Fullerton. It was chaos, dude. But Adam was there. If you ever, next time you see Adam, ask him about the riot. He was there. Like, I'd go more in detail, but it's just crazy.
Whose bright idea was it to put all the high schools together to begin with?
Dude, that's what I thought too. But it was the city of Fullerton wanted to do this like shindig, like gathering of like all the schools. You're like, everybody fucking, like, all the football teams hate each other.
Yeah. We
go on and start playing. So you got all these punkers from all the schools, all these kids that just showed up because they were all the same age. We told everybody we flyered fucking at Bionic. Like, it was on, dude. So all we want to do is just have a crazy show. You know, like, people are jumping off the stage and all this stuff. We thought nothing of it. city of Fullerton is like, the officials were trying to turn us off. Our friend's brother's the one that threw it and got super busted for it. Yeah,
Wow.
he got like almost fired. It was hysterical, like to us, because like our buddy was filming it. He was tackled, and they took out the tape and just started shredding it.
Wow.
Dude, I was so pissed. I would kill to see that footage. Just a bunch of like 16 to 18-year-old kids is fucking handling security guards. Like, dude, people just were jumping in just to jump in. It was literally like so punk because it was us against like the fucking city council, dude. like, dude, it was like security guards that were like, these 25-year-old fucking shitheads. Dude, and they thought they could beat us up, and we're like, nah, dude, you can't do this to us. And power punk rock, dude. We all united and fucked those dudes up. Yeah, we got pepper sprayed, and the cops came in and fucked us all up, but still feel like we won. But yeah, dude, being pepper sprayed does not fucking feel good. Or breathing that shit in when you have asthma, and then having to call your dad and say, yeah, dude, we're down here in Independence Park. I think they're gonna arrest us. Dad fucking rolled down his PJs, dude. He looked like a fucking train wreck. He just started fucking laying down the law, dude. Got all of us out. All of us. All of our friends. My dad was pissed.
I bet.
But, hey, man, we washed his car like good next day. Like, we love you, Dad. I didn't want to go to jail. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was pretty back then. I thought I was going to get fucking butt raped, dude. Yeah, I lost my virginity at Fullerton PD. I was butt raped by some guy named Jose. It was fucking awesome.